Possible impacts from MSL hardware. This cluster of small impact craters was spotted by the context camera on the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter in the region northwest of Gale Crater, the landing site of the Mars Science Laboratory MSL rover Curiosity. We had suspected that the cluster was produced by the impact of MSL's hardware onto the surface of Mars because we could see it in context camera images after the landing, but it was not present in images prior to the arrival of MSL. Consistent with this interpretation is the fact that the cluster is located along a line between the Curiosity landing site and a strewn field of debris previously identified in high-rise images as being caused by MSL hardware, in particular the cruise stage and/or tungsten weights used as crews balance masses. Over a year has passed since the landing, so this impact cluster is not as fresh as those imaged earlier and has been degraded somewhat by winds from the northeast. Nevertheless, the cluster shows some similarities to the impact's uprange, including asymmetric ejecta patterns that indicate an oblique impact. The cluster is located some 9 kilometers downrange of the impacts imaged earlier, about 70 kilometers away from the rover landing site. With a close-up image, we see that it was produced by a shotgun blast of at least 40 individual impacts that formed small craters no larger than 2 meters in diameter. In contrast, the uprange impacts included 4 craters that were 4 to 5 meters in diameter. Assigning each of the impacts to specific pieces of hardware is a challenging puzzle, but it is thought that the 4 large craters were produced by 2 large tungsten weights that broke in half to make these 4 craters, or by pieces of the cruise stage, which was designed to break up in the atmosphere for planetary protection purposes to kill any earthly microbes. The cluster imaged here adds to the mystery and may have been produced by a piece of the cruise stage that traveled farther through the Martian atmosphere and was therefore more thoroughly fragmented by the time it crashed onto the surface.